So it has been a little over 3 months now since I fitted my 2 solar panels to the side of my house, and I have now 3-4 months of electricity bills, and I thought I'd share the numbers with you because to be honest, when I fitted the solar panels originally, I was a little bit skeptical as to how economical they were going to be. Was it going to be a good idea? And well, looking at the numbers, yeah, pretty successful. I'm absolutely shocked, really, at how successful. So I'll just quickly show you what I've got. So I bought 2 435 watt solar panels from a company here in France, and with delivery, which I thought was quite expensive, but they are quite heavy. They're over 20 kilos each. Delivery was about 45 euros, so they were 185 euros delivered. And I have a MarsTech 800 watt micro inverter, which cost, I think, around about 90 euros, if I remember rightly, delivered. And I bought some cables, and there was no, apart from some little small brackets, little tiny metal brackets, which were like 15 euros. This was the basic system. It's the cheapest possible 800 watt system that I could put together, and it cost just over 300 euros, about 310, I think, euros. So important to remember that. It's not a 400 euro system, it's a 300 euro system. And the difference being that I put them on the side of the house, which they're not perfectly situated. They do face pretty much west. Ideally they'd be on some kind of platform, which would, obviously, as I said, I was a little bit skeptical to start. I didn't want to invest too much money in the idea, and now I'm starting to think otherwise. So I'm just going to go through the numbers with you, actually. So March, April, May of this year compared to March, April, May of last year. I'll put it up on the screen. Last year I used, in March, April, May, 963 kilowatt hours of electricity, and that cost 265 euros or thereabouts. This year I only used 510 kilowatt hours. This is what I purchased from the electricity company. Now I'm obviously producing my own power. I'm buying less, which was the whole idea. I'm buying less from the electricity company, and that cost 155 euros. So there is a 110 euro difference. But when I include, now my electricity rate, I'm on a fixed rate electricity tariff, and my fixed rate electricity tariff dropped by 17% this year over last year, which is quite a lot. And so if I did an adjustment for last year's usage, so 963 kilowatts, my cost would have been 220 euros, not 265. So doing some simple maths, my electricity bill for the first 3 months of this year is effectively 65 euros cheaper, or 65 euros less than last year. Now, this isn't scientific, and I know that this past year, I really have been economising, trying to use less electricity, and yeah, making changes to make my life cheaper. But yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. So the solar panels I've got, as I say, are 435 watt panels, 50 volt output, and I'm not sure if the micro inverter is still available, but so far so good. It does have an app, which is not great. They wanted loads and loads of my information, which they weren't going to get, so I don't get full use of the app. The most I've seen these 2 435 watt panels produce is about 650 watts. Now, it's an 800 watt micro inverter, which means no matter how much power I put into it, I think I could put in just over 1,000 watts into it, I'll only ever get 800 watts out of it. So the most I've seen is about 650, and that was back in March when the sun was lower. Obviously, these panels were on a wall. They're not angled towards the sun in any way. So obviously in the winter, when the sun is lower, they'll be more effective. But obviously in the summer, the sun shines for longer, so it kind of balances it out. So I think I'm probably somewhere between 15 euros a month and 20 euros a month better off. Now, this is a 300 watt system, and I kind of said to myself, well, if I can save 100 euros a year, they'll pay for themselves in 3 years. but it looks like it's going to be much quicker than that. So that leaves the question, what do I do now? Because I am sold on solar, and this is plug-in solar. So it's basically just offsetting what I'm using. I don't have any batteries. This is the cheapest possible setup. So if I can, maybe I can save €200 a year. Even if I only saved 150, it pays for itself in 2 years. That's just, I'm completely sold on it. So yeah, what do I do now? Here's the next question. I've got another wall here, which I could add panels to. I could actually take those panels off there, and maybe they'll be better on that wall. How much better, I don't know. So yeah, interesting to know, and I don't know what to do about moving forward. Are batteries the next step? Had quite a few storms over the last day or so, and 2 or 3 times the power has gone out. Yeah, maybe having batteries is the way forward, but that's a big investment. So I'm looking at my annual electricity bill this year to be around 700 to 800 euros, depending on whether I heat my house with electricity or gas. This coming winter, I've used gas this year, gas bottles in a gas heater. Pretty good, probably spent about 250 euros on gas. So yeah, that's something I've got to make a decision on. It'll be handy to be able to generate electricity, enough electricity to offset the heating that I'm using in the house. So that's something for me to think about. Anyway, if you're thinking about putting a couple of solar panels up without spending a fortune on brackets, I think my brackets were around 15 euros. I think the cables were around 40. The panels were 185 delivered. The inverter was around 90. Yeah, so around 300 euros. I can't recommend it enough. There's something nice. It's something nice to know that you're not you're not paying the electricity company. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Leave a comment. Be good to know what your opinion is. See you later.